It's positively life-affirming to be away from the smoke, smog and stress of the inner city with its cold, concrete conurbations and congested, constipated traffic flows, and out here in the country where the air is sweet with the smell of raw silage and the ground is sodden underfoot. But I'm not here for the benefit of my health, though, no. I'm here in Dumfries and Galloway on the Scottish borders where 30 years ago the Celt-British movie The Wickerman was shot. And would you believe it? There's a 2-day festival around here somewhere celebrating all things Wiccan. In fact, I think I can hear some pagan music lilting over the hillocks. I wonder where it could be. I better phone Sid, the festival organiser. Oh, I can't get a signal on my mobile phone. What's going on? It's positively medieval around here.
Back to nature for a bit of earthy pagan hedonism, but the toilets better be clean.
Hello, you must be Sid Ambrose, the festival organiser. How you doing?
Am I? Not bad.
Nice to see you. I tell you, it looks great. I can see tents everywhere. There's people camping down there. I can hear music coming from over there. What have you got on hand on the site for the punters?
Where to begin? Well, we've got a main stage down that area, an indoor cinema here, showing the Wickerman, of course. We've got the heavy techno sounds in the dance tent. We've got northern soul music. We've got a small greenfield area here, an environmental tent, lots of kids entertainment, lots of stalls. You know, it's a tribal gathering, really. And it's a tribal gathering basically unified by the Wickerman. I mean, it's like Glastonbury Fair, the early 70s, 72, except Glastonbury Fair had the new up-and-coming bands, whereas we've got the bands who are like, 25 years old sort of thing.
Speaking of Destiny, Stiff Little Fingers, I saw them in 1984, they're back here now, still doing the rounds.
Aye, class bands, class acts, still got a big fan base, big following. We've sold tickets in Argentina. I was speaking to some Italians earlier on. There's been interest from the French, there's Slovakians here, as well as all corners of Britain.
But hey!
Been a good turnout, really.
And if anything, bringing people to the area might even boost the gene pool in the area, Given the area as well, you obviously need to bear in mind the adverse weather conditions, so I would suggest waterproofs would be an essential part of the festival accoutrement.
I would say waterproofs and sunscreen both within the same day.
Yeah. You've got 2 Wickermen to be burned on both nights. The first night, the Friday night, will be the Wickerman that looks more like the one from the film. The second one is much more aesthetically pleasing and sort of more artistic, certainly. Isn't it?
Aye. Well, it's a local guy who only lives down the road. I think he's built a Wickerman which ties in with the natural landscape, which is particular to this festival site. But I think the results have been absolutely stupendous.
Well, seeing as we mentioned the weather and it was sunny when we started the interview, now it's actually raining, I think I better go and pitch my tent and sort myself out.
Right, no bother.
Right, catch up with you later, Sid.
I'll get back to work. Cheers now.
Cheers. That's the last peg in. What a sterling effort. I'm ready to go out and about in the Wickerman field and get my hands dirty and find out what's going on.
But where do you start? The beer tent, of course.
Enjoying the festival thus far?
Yes, fine.
A good time?
Aye.
And what we got here? Why, it's the hippie, trippy, transcendental meditating tent. They're all slim vegans here. I can smell tofu in the air. It looks like everything up here is made with twine. The hoopla stall. This is going back to the old days of the Medway, when people would travel down to fairs. You think this kind of tradition is gone now, but it's great to see it's still alive in little pockets, in little communities everywhere. See, I can do sort of genuine as well. What is it about that film that makes it eminently rewatchable?
I'd say that its themes are so broad that it speaks to the human condition. I think it appeals in so many ways, and the fact that it tackles questions of religion and contradictions in religion, contradictions in the Christian religion. I think The Wickerman appeals to people because it's a kind of like finding a story to live by. And I think paganism today, sort of neo-paganism today, is kind of like that. You take, I know it's a really cliched thing to say, but you do take kind of trappings from different strands of paganism.
Whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you. And I think you take bits from that film, whether it's, something that comes from Egyptian background, which is in that film, or comes from an English background or Scottish background, and you sort of just cling to what it is that appeals to you.
What do you think of the idea of the Nick Cage version?
I like Nick Cage. I love Wild at Heart. Fantastic in that. I can't imagine him as a Howie, but I'd be really interested to watch it. And whereas some fans might be up in arms and say, oh no, it shouldn't be allowed, ban it, I think it should go ahead.
Wickerman, look, there's our own Wickerman.
Don't set me fire. It's actually like an analogy for like what's going on now. You've got all these people at this festival having a really good time, and then there's a lot of people in the town that don't want this to happen. And the film kind of does that as well, because it does it with, he is like the archetypal kind of pent-up individual, And the town folk are saying we're pagans and we're having really good fun.
Yes, after a 30-year cooling off period, the Wicker Man burns again. A combination of fresh air and cheap lager whips the crowd up into a state of bacchanalian excess and bad dancing.
It's been a long, arduous day, and I've got the harvest moon in front of me and the burning embers of the Wicker Man behind me, but something tells me the night has just begun. Cheers. Oh, I think I got singed eyebrows getting too close to that fire. I'll sleep soundly on God's good earth tonight, down here with the real people. Good night. Okay, cut. Taxi to the hotel. Come on, let's get sorted. I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. There was a strange woman wailing and banging on the walls. Although this is the exterior of the infamous Green Man that was used in the Wicker Man film, the actual interior shots were shot some 15 miles away further down the road. Ah, such is the magic of the movies. The Milky Bars are on me! Here we are, firmly ensconced in the Ellingowan Hotel in Creetown, known to Wiccan aficionados as the Green Man. I'm talking to Uber Wiccan aficionado, Martin Hull. Now tell me this, Martin, how many times have you seen the film?
At least 40.
40 times?
Yes.
I'm overawed. What's it like to be in the actual location here?
Oh, it's fantastic. Actually walking into the pub itself and seeing that it's hardly changed at all since the film.
Are you the landlord here? Aye, I'm Alder McGregor.
The bar's in the same place, the till's gone, and the prices have changed, obviously. But other than that, it's pretty much retained the original glamour of the film.
Yeah, unfortunately nobody tackled behind.
I know, yeah. All Lindsay Kemp as well, which is a bit of a shame. Here we are in Anworth, the site of not one, but 3 Wicker Man locations. Behind me, the schoolhouse. And here, on the green, once stood the maypole, where the children danced the fertility dance.
In the woods there grew a tree, and a fine, fine tree was he.
And beyond that, the cemetery within which resides a 17th century kirk, within which an even older resting place.
And in that egg there was a...
Suddenly, British Lion greenlight the Wicker Man, and they've got 7 weeks to shoot. The location hunters go into overdrive trying to find locations, and they must have been counting their blessings to find 3 locations within spitting distance. Don't spit, it's a sacrilege. This cemetery and the ancient kirk within has remained relatively unchanged, not just for the last 30 years, but for the last 300 years. Long may it remain. And the last call in my whistle-stop tour of Wicker Man country, it's May Morrison's little sweet shop in Kirkcudbright. You can't turn around in Kirkcudbright without stumbling across yet another Wicker Man location. Inspired by my tour and high on chocolate, I went back to the festival site and transmogrified into a dancing, prancing, child-scaring, living embodiment of Lord Summerisle himself. Can you feel the love in the field? As night falls, the crowds head up to the top field to see the second Wicker Man-woman hybrid burn in all its flame-grilled glory. The crazed fire jugglers jump around to the beat of the congos, saluting the night sky like a disco-dancing behemoth, but once the blue touch paper's lit, it's ashes to ashes. I donned my dear deity antlerhead mask and stood too close to the flames. The Wicker Man movie continues to exert its influence over successive generations, perhaps because it defies simplistic categorization. It's a horror, thriller, black comedy, musical whodunit with liberal dashes of nudity, rather like the festival itself. I'll be back next year for some more pyromanic fun, and who knows, perhaps I'll see you here as well. May your harvest be bountiful, and may you be bathed in the golden rays of the sun goddess Nuada.